Hey, hey, family, it's me, Queenie Brown. Thank you so much for joining me today for our reading of the Self Love Lessons. 7 lessons every woman must learn about herself and the power of womanhood. I am excited today. And boy, I got to tell you, this book is blessing me all over again. It is, goodness, it's been quite a journey, but I'm watching my life transform as I'm reading this. And I hope it's blessing you too in the same way. um, I'm finding that right before I have a reading, I'm going through the thing in my life that the reading answers, which is so God, right? But if you have not already downloaded your copy of the Self Love Lessons, please feel free to go to www.queeniebrown.com and download your free copy. I've made some changes on the website. So if you haven't been out there in a while, go on and join me and then get on the list so that you can be notified. We've got some amazing things coming up, especially with Mother's Month coming up. So I'm excited to introduce you to a few things. So make sure you do that, and then invite your friends. Let anyone that you know that could use a little self love to join us at queeniebrown.com so they can download their copy and then they can join us on the readings. All right. So we are in self love lesson number 3, and that's how to know who you are not, and how to never forget. And like I said, Lord have mercy, this has been a lesson for me. Okay. So we are on page 269. We're making some progress, people. I'm excited. I hope you are getting all the meat off this bone. But we're going to go ahead and get started. If you are joining us from the replay, welcome. Thank you so much for catching us, and make sure you put replay in the comment. If you're present with me, make sure you put hashtag present and let me know where you're watching from. And then when you get to the end and you have finished, put hashtag finished so that I know that you completed it, because we will be offering prizes at some point. All right, so here we go. Is it all in your mind? Has anyone ever said this to you, that it's all in your mind? Maybe you were concerned about something or afraid about something, and in their effort to calm you down, they said, it's all in your mind. Well, there's some truth to that, but because your mind is a powerful part of who you are, it plays a vital role in your ability to fully embrace your identity, your authority, your inheritance, and your assignment. The interesting thing about our minds is we get out of them what was put into them. If you constantly bombard your mind with negative input like criticism, judgment, fault finding, ridicule, fear, and rebellion, you shouldn't expect yourself to be able to be a powerful overcomer, right? Instead, you'll become a guilt ridden, unworthy, rebellious, complaining, ungrateful, cynical person. It's the old saying, when you put garbage in, you get garbage out. If our goal is to become powerful, faith filled, healed, whole, prosperous, fearless leaders, then we must feed our minds what will produce that outcome. We need to begin with the end in mind. I've learned something about the way that my mind works. After years of suffering through all of the pain and loss that had become my life, I had a strong desire to participate in mindless activities like watching hours of television. I longed to just be entertained, even pacified. I sat for days and days just flipping through the TV channels. I enjoyed talking with friends on the phone about the reality TV train wreck of the day. The internet was a welcome distraction from the television, and I enjoyed spending hours surfing the web. Doing this produced absolutely nothing in my life, and it scattered my mind even more. The result was a loss of time and an exponential growth of the feelings of being unfruitful. I'm sure you all can relate with that. That was a long time ago. So, what is a mindset? A mindset is defined as a fixed mental attitude or disposition that predetermines a person's responses to an interpretation of situations. We each have many mindsets about many things. For the sake of the topic at hand, I'd like to make a declaration. We each have the ability to change our mindset if we determine that, number one, our mindset is no longer true, or number two, our mindset no longer serves us. For example, as a preteen, I thought boys were gross, smelly, destructive little trolls that should be destroyed. Then a few years passed and my mindset changed completely. Boys no longer represented my nemesis, but they became something I thought about, talked about, and even dreamed about incessantly. Can we go back to puberty? It took a little time, a bit of wisdom, some hormones, and a few other changes to occur, which all helped me to change my mindset where boys were concerned. Either the mindset that boys were horrible trolls was no longer true, or it no longer served me to maintain that mindset. Likewise, there are things that you've been believing for years about yourself and your life that are either no longer true, were never true to begin with, or those beliefs no longer serve you. So let's attempt to identify beliefs that you have held for far too long and use this opportunity to confront, evaluate, and reframe your thinking by resetting your mind. How do you set your mind? There are many ways that you set your mind. The most successful way that your mind is set is by repetition. Repetition in what you hear, what you say, what you see, what you feel, and what you experience. Every lesson you learn in life will either prove your mindset right or prove it wrong. Here's what I mean. If you've heard repetitive messages about certain nationalities for the better part of your life, you will inevitably develop a mindset where that nationality is concerned. Then, as you progress through life, the things you hear, see, and experience relating to that nationality will either prove your belief right or prove it wrong. If it proves it, let's change that. If it proves it, if it proves your belief to be right, your mindset is reinforced and you're even more set in that belief. Have you ever heard of an older person saying, "I'm just set in my ways"? What does that really mean? Well, it means that there's been so much supporting repetitive evidence where that topic is concerned that you have no hope in changing their mindset. Lifelong racism is an example of being set in your ways. In this case, there's often no willingness to change how your mind is set. As brilliant as our minds are, they will hold on to whatever we tell them. In order to change your mindset, you must be willing to listen to the contradiction to that mindset repetitively until your mind resets itself to the new belief. So, what is your mindset on? So now that you understand how a mindset is formed, let's just take a look at some of the mindsets that you hold about you. What do you think about your body? Think about that. Do you consider yourself a pessimist, a realist, an optimist? Have you ever been described as a negative person, a positive person? Are you a fault finder? Is your mind set on the flaws of others? Is it set on your own flaws or on your strengths? Is it set on your purpose, your gifts, your value, or lack thereof? Can you finish any of these sentences? People just can't be, put your answer in the comments. People just can't be what? What's the belief behind that? Men are just so what? Women are always too what? My body is just so. Answer that. Traffic just what? I can always count on me to what? When I look in the mirror, I just wish what? My memory is what? These are all beliefs and mindsets. See what I mean? We create beliefs about pretty much everything in our lives. The reason I'm pointing this out is because our mindsets accomplish one of two things. They either limit us or they empower us. Yeah, it's true. Let's take the statement about traffic, for example. Many of us will finish that sentence by saying, "Traffic just drives me crazy, infuriates me," or the list could go on and on. Or you could have the mindset that says, "Traffic just gives me enough time to listen to my books on tape." Or, "Traffic just gives me enough time to catch up on today's news before I get home with my family," or decompress. On the other hand, you are limited by feelings of anger and frustration, which only lead you to more feelings of negativity. On the one hand. On the other hand, your mindset could open you up to an opportunity. You see what I mean? This is not an exercise to judge you or point out your issues. It's more of an opportunity to share something quite powerful with you. Our minds are absolutely brilliant organisms. What makes them so awesome is our ability to mold and shape them into exactly what we need them to be in order to fully support us in reaching our fullest potential. So, how can you deliberately decide to set your mind in a way that supports you in accomplishing your goals? We've already mentioned repetition. That is the secret weapon for sure. But to illustrate my point, let's go back to a childhood story that I'm sure you remember, the little engine that could. In the story, there was a stranded train that needed a willing engine to pull it up over a hill. All of the larger engines refused, but the little engine agreed to try. In his effort to pull up the train, the little engine continued to chant his mantra, I think I can, I think I can. Then, as he got closer to his goal, his mantra changed to, I know I can. And ultimately, he did. The lesson here is that you must align your words, your confession, with what you want to manifest or create. That's the first way to set your mind. Say it repetitively. Say it repetitively until you see it. Remember, our thoughts are formed by the things we see, hear, and say. You set your mind by what you say repetitively. I think I can. Proverbs 23:7 says, For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. So that concludes today's reading of the self-love lessons. I hope that blessed you today. It blessed me. And I honestly, I needed to be reminded that if my goals are to accomplish great things, I've got to program my mind with the belief that that's possible. I've got to say it over and over again. I got to see it over and over again. I got to hear it over and over again. And that helps to set our minds. And tomorrow we're going to go deeper into the principle of believing. And we're going to talk about how our minds are designed to hold strong by God. It's really, really a good conversation. So I hope you join us tomorrow. If you miss it, catch the replays. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate that. We're going to retreat to the Mother Love community a little bit later today so that we can get a little bit more meat off this bone. But be sure to go to www.queeniebrown.com if you haven't already and download your free copy of the Self-Love Lessons. Be sure to share this with your friends, like it. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so that you're notified in the future. All right. God bless. I'll see you tomorrow. Take good care. Bye-bye.